everybody. Welcome in to the first official episode of the Baseball Guys. Malik Wright over here with my boy Hendo. How you doing, bro?
Hey, man, we here. You see the show, we always working, man. I'm glad to do this, man. This is a long time coming, man. So let's get to it.
And check us out on YouTube, powered by Fanatics View. Again, this is the Baseball Guys podcast, giving you guys weekly MLB rundowns and also player personnel interviews. The 2025 season is here. It's opening day. We're here live at the Rangers versus Red Sox game. It's 1-1 entering the fourth inning. Some good RBIs from Kelvin Pillar. And then I believe Simone Raffaella drove in the Red Sox run.
Yes.
Young team in the Boston Red Sox. Let's start the episode off by talking about some young players, though. Our Rookie of the Year choices. I'll start with mine. And I'm going to start with the NL side. Dodgers went. They spent a lot of money. I think Sasaki going to do it. But health is an issue for the Dodgers pitchers especially, but for him especially.
History.
So I want people to be on the lookout for Dylan Cruz, who's drafted in the first round last year. Out of LSU, was attended school with Paul Skeens. Full time in the big leagues this year. He came up late last year. Full time in the big leagues this year. That national team. They have a lot of young talent. I think what James Wood showed and what C.J. Abrams has already shown, I think they get a little bit more of that from Dylan Cruz this year.
Yeah, that was my pick as well. I think Dylan has a chance to shine with this team. Obviously got C.J. Abrams, our guy. Bring over a guy like Nathaniel Lowe. I think that team is kind of a sleeper team, but I think this is Dylan Cruz's year to shine. The Nationals have a history of having these young guys show up. Remember Juan Soto was a thing, right? Steven Strasburg. You go down the list of guys. They've always C.J. Abrams is a guy before last season, and was a guy all-star, young guy. I think Dylan Cruz. This is going to be his year, so I'm actually going to rock with you on that. I believe in Dylan Cruz. I think obviously Sasaki is the sexy pick, obviously, but I mean, we saw him already in one game, right? And I don't know. I don't know what to think. Like, I think that he might have the advantage because he is on the Dodgers. And I think that his team winning is going to help that out. But yeah, I'm gonna go with Dylan Cruz as well.
Yeah, Sasaki, he was throwing some filthy pitches. Control was the issue when he was out pitching in the Japan series against the Cubs. We'll see if just nerves was 100 a lot. Let's see if just nerves was a factor. But let's switch over to the American League side, and I'm gonna go down to our in-state rivals in Houston.
Okay.
They got another big piece. You see they lose Bregman to the Red Sox. Kyle Tucker's out. Altuve's moving to left field. A lot's going on. No more Reggie Jackson in the organization. They got this big bopper, Cam Smith. Got him acquired for the Kyle Tucker trade. I feel like the impact that he's going to have for the Houston Astros is what we got from Wyatt Langford last season. Ooh. So big shot. There are some concerns for his defense, but and I mean that Houston Astros outfield in general is a little shaky. Besides Chas McCormick out there in center, it's him and two guys who are going to be finding their way. But I think Cam's going to bash, use those Crawford boxes, that short porch in right field, batting around Yordan Alvarez, who they still have, is always going to be a key factor and key contributor to people. So for my AL Rookie of the Year, I'm going to go roll with Cam Smith.
So I find it funny because I'm going to stay in the state as well. And I'm going to go with a guy that he's probably going to end up facing quite often, in Kumar Rocker. We obviously get to see Kumar up close. I like Kumar's confidence. He has a chance to really shine with this team. I think, Kumar's trying to find his way, obviously come back from injury. He shows flashes, right? I think the last spring training game, he had like 8 Ks in that game. I think if he can get some of the erratic innings out the way where he gives up those runs, I think Kumar has a chance to be special, man. And with this Ranger staff the way it is, he has a chance to really shine with him and Jack. So I'm going to go Kumar Rocker. And I just think that his potential is sky high. I don't know if he's going to remain here. I think they're going to have him on a short leash, and that's okay. But I do think that Bochy believes in him enough to where they put 2 young guys in this situation, and he's going to be coming behind, likely, the way it's set up, behind Jacob deGrom. So he's going to be able to learn from guys like Evaldi, as we both, matter of fact, we did talk to him there. Y'all probably see those interviews pretty soon. We talked to him, and we saw his confidence, man, and he just seems like he's ready for the moment. So I'm going to go with Kumar. Now, I do have – funny that we're talking pitchers because the next topic is Cy Young, and I believe last year Tariq Skubal and Chris Sale were our 2 Cy Young winners. And I think we can start with the NL. And I'm gonna let you go first. I think we both may have the same answer. Go ahead, Sid.
I got two guys I'm gonna use because
Okay.
obviously I think there should be little. And it's all going to depend on the Pittsburgh Pirates
There you
records
go.
late in the season.
Yeah.
If they're down bad when it comes to August, September, maybe they pull them out. But I think Paul Skeens is going to have a very dominant season. That's the easy pick, though. A guy that I want us to look out for, though, and he's returning from Tommy John. We were talking about earlier how pitchers that can be a little, you don't know much about them the first year coming after Tommy John, usually the year after. What about Sanjay Alcantara out there in Miami?
I like that.
Sleeper team, with a team that nobody's really talking about, especially in that deep NL East. They're probably bottom of the barrel right now, but he himself, he's back. He was an innings eater before he had Tommy John, and he's ready to go. He says there's no pitching limits. I think Sandy's going to be back up top.
I like that, man. Sandy, just about a couple of years ago, was like the most unreal pitcher in baseball, not naming DeGrom. Shout out to the Rangers. It looks like they just scored another run. Kevin Pillar got drove in by the Shigeoka Rangers edition. We got to talk about them in one of our next podcasts. For me, man, I got another one for you. I think this guy. So Skeens is obviously my choice, and I know that's a sexy pick for everybody. I know everybody's like, well, you obviously got to take him, right? But man, how can I go with this? Actually, I had three guys, but if I'm being honest, Clay Holmes. He has a chance to be the number one guy over there with that team. I think he's not in so much pressure of being in the other New York side anymore. I really like Clay a lot. I've had a chance to talk to him in the previous years, and I really like what he does, man. Like I said, Skeens is my favorite. I think everybody's a Skeens guy. I don't even know if it even matters if they do have a losing record, because I feel like he's going to be able to go in and do what he does. So I would go with Clay Holmes. I know I have more than one guy. Man, I mean, it's just so many guys. But actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back, because I think I got a better pick than that. And I love Clay Holmes. I'm going to go Logan Webb. Logan is, I know people will say, well, that's your boy. But Logan Webb has been an all-star the last couple of years, right? He is a guy that I like a lot. He loves the game of baseball. San Francisco's one of those teams I think that could be under the radar. I like that. I like what they have over there. Sort of under the radar. Obviously, AL West, I don't know if they have a chance to win it, but Logan Webb is the one thing that I like about them that shines out of light. I'm going to go Logan Webb.
There's one team that we forgot to mention, and they have, I think, a top 5 pitching staff in baseball. Obviously, they just had a little bit of an injury to knock off somebody on their back half. What about Corbin Burns and Zach Gallen, I'm sorry, from the Arizona Diamondbacks?
See, that's what I'm saying. Zach Gallen was another guy, but I think that I think he's a favorite. I think Zach Gallen is definitely a favorite. I think right now, if you walked into the season, the big 5, in my opinion, would be Skeens. I think it would be Zach Gallen, Zach Wheeler. Corbin Burns is probably going to be there too. I mean, they got Brandon Paff too, who a lot of people like as well. So I'm definitely going to say Zach Gallen is one of those guys. Unreal. Arizona's definitely going to be the team to watch out for, even though Jordan Montgomery's out. But that's a good point, man. It's funny. But I want to go outside the box, because if I look right, if I say Logan Webb, they're going to say, well, you just picked Zach Gallen because he's one of the best.
Oh, yeah. All right, so let's move our discussion to the MVP, the most valuable player, a race that I think...
Did we do American League Cy Young?
Oh, we didn't. Let's go back. Okay, AL Cy Young. Let's, to me, I think we're going to have a repeat champ for the AL Cy Young.
Oh, yeah.
As simple as it goes. Scooble, we're recording this midday opening day, so Scooble takes on the Dodgers tonight. We'll see how he does.
Yeah, if he gets hurt, don't blame us, but we're just saying.
But, man, he's locked in. You saw what he was doing for the Tigers in the playoffs whenever the offense just wasn't really going. He kept the team in the game. He kept them in. Dominant lefty, still young. I do think Cole Reagan's another guy in that same division is going to take another step up. We saw him here in Texas, and we got to witness the points of the season where, he was a bullpen guy. He came out, mop up duty, it'd be a blowout, or get a random 2-3 innings, and then we traded him for Aroldis Chapman. Yeah. Coming into last year, he's a Cy Young candidate. And I think now he's got more confidence, another full offseason under his belt in Kansas City. I think he can rival Scooble, but I don't think he's catching him.
So Scooble's my guy, because once again, the Paul Skeens effect. Like, we just have to pick him. Obviously, I like your Cole Reagans because he was one of my next guys. I think that Kansas City, along with him and Seth Lugo, very nice staff. I like what they're doing over there. But I'm gonna be a homer here.
Okay.
You mentioned Tommy John, right? And you mentioned the year after the Tommy John. If he can stay healthy, why not Jacob deGrom? Why not? I mean, Jacob deGrom, he looks good. I think that we know what he is, and he's already the best pitcher in baseball when healthy. And a lot of people, I mean, the national media is called nod to these guys. I would definitely say Jacob deGrom, man. So I'm going to go with him, man. I think that this is a bounce back year. And look, if he's a Cy Young contender, we're talking about something that we're going to be talking about later, which is prediction on who's going to be the best team in baseball.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Let's get onto that MVP track, and let's start off with the AL.
Okay.
It's been competitive these last 2-3 years, so it's a competitive race. And I think the same two horses are going to be there again this season. Aaron Judge, if he stays healthy, he had the record-breaking American League home run stretch.
Yeah, man.
And then the next season, he had a toe injury, short of sorting it off. The Yankees fell off.
Yeah.
Last year, him and Juan Soto powered the team to the World Series.
Yeah.
We were talking about it earlier, though. I think Bobby Witt is the most dynamic player in baseball. He has it all. He has the speed. He has the defense.
40-40.
You're not going to have the same payroll in Kansas City. If Kansas City is competitive, you know it's because of Bobby Witt. So I'm going to roll with him for my American League MVP.
He took my answer. I mean, with great minds think alike. I think he's a 40-40 guy. He can steal bases. I think he was a Cy Young or the Platinum Glove. Is that what it is now, the Platinum Glove? Not Cy Young, sorry. Gold Glove and a Platinum Glove. Bobby will be definitely my choice. But if I had a dark horse MVP, sorry if I'm being a homer once again, Wyatt Langford, ladies and gentlemen. I think Wyatt Langford is in the lineup where he can be sort of not so much blanketed, but when you're dealing with having to face guys like Marcus Semien and Seager, he comes in that third hole, man. You can't just walk everybody. And that's a treacherous lineup. I really like Wyatt Langford. I don't think he has a sophomore slump in him. I could be completely wrong. But I'm a real big fan of his. And another guy that I would say if I don't want to put the homer part into it, I know he's out right now, but Gunnar Henderson. Once again, this shortstop position, man, which when you talk about all the time, the talent is unreal. We talking about Bobby Witt, who's probably not naming Shohei Ohtani the best player in baseball. If Bobby Witt didn't exist, Gunnar Henderson may be the best shortstop in baseball.
Yeah.
And, unfortunately, he does have an injury right now. We'll see how long he's going to be out for, but he would have been my dark horse MVP as well. But I agree with you, man. I'm all in on number 7 over there in Kansas City.
For the National League side, it's not yet coming soon. The man, the myth, the legend is going to be back on the mound. Shohei Ohtani. And you can the easy picks or you can call them the easy picks.
Yeah.
That man is about to go 50-50 and have an ERA under 3.
Yeah.
If he does that, if he does what I think he's going to do, he might have what could go down as the greatest season any baseball player has.
Mm-hmm.
If he's able to hit for speed, but with the new rules, and he's also able to be a dominant pitcher, I don't see how it's his MVP to lose. So I'm going to roll with Shohei. Another guy that I want to walk out and see if he can really take that leap, because he's a guy that he's one of the most popular players in baseball now. I believe he's polarizing. I believe he has everything what it takes.
Okay.
Can Ellie De La Cruz put a full season together and make that jump like Bobby Witt, like Gunnar Henderson?
Gotcha.
He's got it all. And the Reds, I'll talk about the Reds later, they're going to need him. We've been talking about that team for a few years now. We've been talking
1-2 pitch.
We've been talking
1 and 2.
There we go. So
We've been talking about that dude for a while, about the Reds for a while though, the young core that they have, and it just I feel like they just haven't getting to that full potential. I think if Ellie can do that, Ellie's my sleeper pick for MVP.
Yeah, I mean, Shohei is obviously my pick. I think he's the best player in baseball. You never want to go against a guy that can get you 50-50. And then if he has a chance to pitch, maybe that's even the icing on the cake. For me, I think there's 2 guys that I would look for. And Shohei is my pick, but I mean, if I was being non-partial just to pick Shohei, because the obvious, I think there's 2 guys in mind for me, and one of them is Austin Riley over in Atlanta. I think Atlanta is one of those teams that still has one of the best lineups in baseball. I like Matt Olson. I like what they have over there. Austin's been a solid third baseman. He has, we'll see. But I think that he has the capability of doing that. But a guy that I think that because of his injuries, we don't get a lot of his MVP talk because he gets hurt on a constant is Bryce Harper. when Bryce is healthy, we've seen it. I think he's comfortable over at first base now. He's gonna be DH probably a little bit as well. I like Bryce Harper as the MVP, man. I think the Phillies, give or take, that NL East is going to be something crazy with the Mets with Soto, who's another MVP caliber guy. You got the Phillies, you got the Braves. It's just that I hate it for the Marlins. Let's just say that, like, yeah. You gonna be looking bad out there. So I think for me, if I did have to just pick one out of everybody I did name, I'd probably go with Bryce Harper. Even though I like Austin Riley a lot, I like the Braves a lot. Even though there's questions on pitching side, but I'm gonna go with Bryce.
Yeah, and that NL East, like you say, it's a dogfight every year. It really does come down to health. Last season, Atlanta just suffered injury after injury. Spencer Strider goes down. They lose Acuna again. I believe they might have lost Matt Olson for some. Albies was gone for a sort of time too.
Acuna's out right now. Yeah.
You just that division is so wild because I mean even the top heavy teams like the Phillies, they can get to the playoffs and then they see lineups like the Mets and the Brewers and they're neutralized. So that's an interesting division.
All right, so you want to do what we got now? We got division winners,
sleeper teams.
Sleeper
teams.
Okay.
I got two. I got one in each league for you, and I'm gonna start it off with I think they made their statement last season.
Okay.
We get to see them more than anybody that's not in Oakland. We get to see them. We watch them. We've known them for years.
Sacramento. You got Sacramento?
The Sacramento A's. People are sleeping. The Law Dog is there. You get Luis Severino. You got
Rooker.
Rooker. Pitching staff is okay.
Yeah. Got JJ in the outfield. You got Geloff. Yeah. Nice team.
I think, and then I already mentioned Lawrence Butler, and then there's just a lot of young talent they have. Langoliers, JT Jen. With them making the move, I think they're playing with a lot of house money this year.
Gotcha.
You know, it's a new stadium. It's not a big league stadium. It's not conventional. But the thing about it, those Sacramento fans are going to show them some love, I believe.
Yeah.
And that type of momentum, and when you're on the road and it's literally a me against the world mentality, us against the world mentality, I think that they're going to thrive about that. Lawrence Butler, he said, man, we're not here to be anybody's stepping stone. We're here to win some games. My other sleeper team, Cincinnati Reds.
You're high on them. You got Ellie up there, yeah.
So bad that I want to pick them to win the Central, but I just can't, knowing that the Brewers, who are a similar team with their young talent, they've seen success. You got the Cubs on that other side. Even St. Louis with Nolan there, they lose Goldie, but some vets and a few guys who have proven it years in St. Louis too. I think the difference this year, though, is going to be Terry Francona. Terry Francona is back at the helm, running the team. We've seen him get the Guardians to the playoffs. We saw what he did with the Red Sox. That starting staff, you got Hunter Green as the ace, but there's also Ashcraft, Lodolo. They're deep. They're poised to make a run, I think. And then, I mean, just talent all around the field. When you've been bad for so long as some of these teams are, by now that talent needs to be popping up. And that's what I think I think it's that time for the Cincinnati Reds. So I'm going to say the Reds and the Oakland Athletic, the Sacramento A's, will make some noises wherever they're from. We'll make some noise this year.
All right, for me, I'm gonna keep it real with you, man. I don't know if this team is a sleeper team because they do got like talented guys. I'm gonna go with the Padres. I know the Dodgers are the heavy favorite, and I think Arizona's getting a lot of love for being the next team. But the Padres still, to me, have a three-headed monster over there in that lineup, which is Jackson Merrill, who was amazing last year. You still got who I think is another sleeper MVP guy, Fernando Tatis. And I think Manny Machado is going to have a good year this year as well. Still got Dylan Cease until they say they don't. Darvish's out, I believe.
Yeah.
But you may get him back soon. So I'm going to go with the Padres. I think that in a division where you may have three playoff teams, maybe, but he's got something to say about that. I'm going to go with the Padres. I think that, it's easy to say because, if they weren't in that division, they may have a chance anywhere else. But I think people are more focused on Arizona, who well deserves it, as well as the Dodgers. So I'm going to go with the Padres in the NL. And then the AL, man, I'm going to be honest with you. The team that the Rangers are facing today, we're watching the Red Sox. I just like the fact that they brought in some OGs that have won. Sometimes when you bring in OGs that won, we've seen this with the Rangers, right? When they brought in Seager, who had won a championship, right? You brought in Evaldi, who had won a championship. They brought in guys like Bregman, who I think can play, right? You bring in Garrett Crochet on a free agent year. Crochet is probably going to be one of the best pitchers in baseball. Tanner Hawk, who was an all-star last year, is now your second guy. Walker Buehler, who they brought in, who we're going to probably get a chance to talk to tomorrow, by the way. I think that's really good for them. And the Alex Cores, they finally spent a little bit of cheese, so I think we like that for them. The AL East, to me, is a little bit open than what people think, especially now that the Yankees have lost Garrett Cole. I'm a little concerned with that, but the Yankees are going to probably mash, right? The Blue Jays, I'm not really thrilled about in that division. And, like I said, the Orioles, man, we know what they have. They got the talent, but the pitching is a big issue. Like, they should have been the team that kept Corbin Burns, right? They should have been the team that got Garrett Crochet. They need pitching over there, and to me, we're going to see how much those bats can hold up because you got injuries and things going on now, but they can mash. But I'm still going to go with the Red Sox. Now, my NL team, I said like the Padres. I think that, like I said, once again, I know it sounds crazy to say the team that has Fernando Tatis Machado and Jackson Mills is a sleeper, but because of their division, it gives them that. So those are my two teams. I know I like your Vegas pick or Sacramento because we see them a lot. And I believe Kotze's still the manager, right?
Yes,
they work hard. I mean, we see them out here. I think that, to your point about Law Dog and Brent Rooker, Geloff is going to be that guy, I think, this year. That steps up. Geloff is a guy I like a lot. I think he's a young guy. He's the next guy now. I obviously got the outfit. I think it's JJ. How you say his last name?
JJ Bleday.
Like, he's another one of those guys that everybody likes a lot. But I think Geloff is going to make that next step, man. I really do. So I like your picks, man. I think that at least one of the 4 teams that we got going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hopefully we ain't completely – about 250. I'll be fine with that.
Oh, yeah. And I like what you said about the Padres. I mean, it's the Dodgers even said it. They said it last season.
Mm-hmm.
Our World Series was against the San Diego Padres.
Mm-hmm.
We handled the Mets, the Yankees, that was chopped cheese, whatever they make them out there. We got them. But let's move on to some World Series predictions. I personally, as much as I would love to see them lose after all the money they spent, do not see how the Los Angeles Dodgers do not make the World Series. Okay. Particularly, not even because of the strong start in pitching, the bullpen. They added like 3 closers. They got Kirby Yates. They got Tanner Scott. They're dangerous. Their bullpen in the playoffs is going to be dangerous. That can literally take you from, you can have your poor lineup, like a team like Detroit, and can take you Cleveland. It can take you multiple rounds in deep. I think we see the Los Angeles Dodgers in the playoffs. One team that I think will stop that from happening is your sleeper team. Just because I feel like those NL East teams, they kind of beat up on each other all the time.
Yeah.
The Padres, they've been just chopping at the door at them. I think they're close. If they can acquire another pitcher, I think it will have some effect on them that they did lose Profar. Profar gave their lineup a little bit of depth, but I feel like they'll add, especially after all the moves the Dodgers made, they got to add it together. For the American League World Series representative, I don't see why it can't be the Texas Rangers.
Yeah.
It's not many teams can repeat as champions. It's always tough that second season. But the lineup depth is there. You get a guy like Jock Peterson who can hit righties off the bench. You get Jake Berger who can hit some lefties. You got the experience. We'll see about Josh Smith this year, how if he can continue on that upward trajectory, a better season from Adolis Garcia. The Rangers, I think, though, have to add a pitcher. They're going to have to add a pitcher and maybe 2 out of the bullpen. If you don't get success from guys especially if you don't get success from guys like Kumar Rocker and Jack Leiter, because at this point of the season, just opening day in, they're needed. There's no Cody Bradford. There's no John Gray. Jacob deGrom is on an innings limit where we're not going to be seeing complete games out of Jacob deGrom to start this year. So if those guys are good, we're going to wonder what they do with Evan Carter and Ezekiel Duran. Do they keep those guys on the bench, or do you trade them for a piece? Because what cannot happen is where we get to a point where we're looking at the playoff roster and one of those guys is left off, but by the numbers game that it is, looks like it's gonna happen. We already saw it happen with Evan Carter. If they can instead have that piece in the bullpen instead of having them on the bench, I think they can get up and see the Dodgers. Now, can they have the firepower on offense to match up with the Dodgers? I think so. Do they have the pitching to match up with them? We'll see. But I think the Texas Rangers have a good chance as well. I'm not counting out the Houston Astros. I know they lose
Yeah.
Breggy and I know they lose Kyle Tucker, but they're the American League West champions
Don't say that too loud.
until somebody takes it and comes and snatches it for 4 straight seasons, I believe. They're the AL West champs. So I'm gonna go with Rangers and Dodgers.
Yeah, fam. For me, I think it's a rematch of 2023 World Series, Arizona and Texas. I think that both teams got curb stomped last year. Well, maybe the Rangers more because Arizona will end up like turning around. I think Arizona's issue last year was Corbin Carroll didn't start off very great, and he's a big part of the team. I think another guy that sleeper MVP type guy. If he ends the way he ended the season last year, he could be an MVP guy. But when you add Corbin Burns to a team that has Zach Gallen, Brandon Paff, and if Gumby was there, that would be a nasty 4-man rotation. I like them a lot. I know they lost Christian Walker. I'm just, like it's. I just think that like last year they just got curb stomped. They started off kind of weird, slow, and they got it going. And as far as the Rangers go, my thing is just simple: help. Well, you got the lineup; they can do it. We'll see how this lineup, how they perform going forward. But I think that you got this nasty lineup, 1 through I think 6 or 7. That's unreal. And if Kevin Pillar is doing this on an every other day basis or everyday basis, this is, in my opinion, not naming that Dodgers lineup or that Braves lineup the best lineup in baseball. If I had to pick, obviously, Wyatt Lake for being MVP, I think that he's the reason why they do get to the World Series. I'm a little concerned, though, because we're already starting off with the injuries with Cody Bradford, and you already got John Gray, who are key contributors to the team. But now, as we both know, as we found out today, Corey Seager has a counter problem. And I don't know if you get as lucky as you did in 2023 when the Corey Seager was able to miss a month of baseball and you survived. But I think Rangers offensively will be fine. That's my World Series pick. I think that, man, I want to pick the Rangers to win that series. But if it is today, I think that adding Corbin Burns makes them the favorite. Until Jacob deGrom can prove to me that he can be what he is, and maybe the Rangers do make that Jordan Montgomery trade that they did at the trade deadline. What stinks about that is they're probably going to give us something that you don't want to give up to do it. But I think it's going to be an Arizona-Texas World Series, and we already know the whole thing with Bruce Bochy, right? Every other year. This is his year, so we got the every other year thing, the odd number year. So I'm going to go Texas and Arizona, and I would say today I'm going to go Arizona as far as the pitching because I think that is very strong. But you know what? I probably would go Texas because I think that they got guys that have won. Like, that is something that you can't teach. Having guys, majority of this team has won a World Series. Garcia obviously was hurt, but he got them there. He was a part of that. Simeon has won. Jung has won. Seager. You got Evaldi, big game pitcher. DeGrom seen it. If DeGrom is great, man, you got a huge chance. Forget having a nice fall. Imagine if DeGrom is who he is. You got a chance right there. And Evaldi's doing what he's doing. And Cody Bradford comes back healthy. So I'm going to go Rangers. I'll change that. I'll take the Rangers in the World Series versus them. And my dark horse team, if I had to pick on 2 teams, as I said earlier, this Red Sox team is kind of weird. And I think that they can sneak up on somebody real fast. They got a nice little lineup. I don't know if they got a World Series lineup, but they got a nice enough lineup. I don't want to say Houston because I'm tired of seeing it, but yeah, Houston's going to be in that rearview mirror, and they're going to be looking to get back in there. And then in the NL, I would go with the Padres. I still think that, man, that lineup, like if anybody can knock off those Dodgers, who I think will probably be in the World Series, or knock off Arizona, obviously, is the one team in their division. So, but until then, I got Texas and Arizona in the World Series, and I got the Rangers winning.
Yeah, and I do like this Red Sox team. We were talking about it before about where Alex Bregman decided to go. He was going to be the OG in Detroit where they would all lead him. He's doing that same thing out here in Boston with a little more talent around him. So they have the vets. Like you said, you get Crochet. They have a solid bullpen. They've had a solid bullpen for a few years. So it'll be interesting to see. But again, this is Malik Wright, chendo.com. Power Baseball Guys podcast powered by Fanatics View. Fanatics View. You can check us out weekly. Before we go, real quick, what's one player you're looking forward to interviewing this season?
So, Bryce Harper, because we've had the weird luck, right? I did get Bryce last year, right, doing All-Star, but it wasn't like a intimate, like one-on-one interview.
We need exclusives.
We need exclusives where nobody's behind me, where I can sneak up on them. I mean, like, we've interviewed all the Braves. My name Acuna. I mean, if we get Acuna, that's cool. But Bryce Harper's my bucket list. Mike Trout, I've got.
Now pitching for the Red Sox.
Yeah, the teams that are coming here, it would have to be Phillies, and it would be Bryce Harper for sure. What about you?
For me, I mean, they're coming here soon, and we've got them before, but it's got to be the Los Angeles Dodgers. I mean, I know we already talked to Mookie Betts as a World Series champion.
That's right. You haven't got the other guy.
But you know, he's got another one on his finger now. And I just want to see his vibe about being they're always the hunted, but now, I mean, they've made all these additions and all these ads and all this deferred money that people talk about and they don't want to like him for. Well, what's it like playing through that and winning through that and shutting everybody up? So I'm really looking forward to seeing Mookie. He had the sickness he was dealing with in Japan, but he's back starting on the opening day lineup, getting himself back right. He'll put some weight back on, and hopefully that sickness doesn't affect his season. But again, appreciate you guys tuning in to the Baseball Guys podcast. Malik Wright, Hendo. We'll be back with you guys next week.
Peace.